Good afternoon and a warm welcome. You're watching Education News Network, and today we're bringing to you a fresh new topic of discussion, that is the delay in the reopening of the K-12 segment giving rise to homeschooling. And for that, we have a panel of eminent educators who will be joining us in this panel discussion. So let's welcome our first panelist for the day. We have Dr. S.K. Sinha, the Director of BRCM Group of Institutions, Haryana. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Raj Kishore Devangan, the President of Delhi Public School, Champa. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next panelist is Mr. Harinder Chabra, the Director of the Infinity School in Greater Noida. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And last but not the least, we have Ms. Deepti Asnani Nambiar, the Director of Asnani School, Bhopal. Welcome, ma'am. We're glad to have you on our show today. So, to discuss our topic, we invite our first panelist of the day, that is Dr. S.K. Sinha. So, what are your thoughts on the topic for today?
First of all, I would like to thank the Education News Network, ENN, for inviting me for this panel discussion. And
We're honored.
Right now, straight away to going to the topic, that is the delay in the reopening of the K-12 segment giving rise to the homeschooling. At present scenario, due to the pandemic COVID-19, the situation is something different, where we are forced that our children should go for a home education because of COVID. Now, when you talk about home education, the thing is very clear that in home education, the teaching pedagogy, the curriculum are not very specific. Rather, the syllabus which the children are covering at home is very flexible, and they are covering the syllabus according to the level of intelligence, level of their thinking, according to their motivation, and they are getting. But one thing is very clear, that homeschooling cannot be the substitute for the schooling which they are getting in a school environment, in a particular school campus. Why? Because when you are at the home schooling system, you are getting education through apps, through different content which you are getting, or through the what we call as the transformation, what we call a distance learning platform are available for online courses. And many other things are when the students are in the school, they are going for some of the activity here and there, and what we call as when they are not getting the recognition because of achievement, because they are not participating in the sports, they are not participating in competition, they are not participating when they are at the home. So they are all deprived of all those things. But the question is that when the home schooling is there, now I am coming to the point, very important thing, that I am also a promoter of education. Right now I'm in Haryana. I am very happy enough that our 2 day schools, 1 boarding schools are functional and it having 90% of attendance here. And similarly, in the higher education also, we are having good attendance. Now, the question is that because of homeschooling, who are all affected? The first thing is that the students and the teachers. Second is the working parents, especially the working parents, I am telling they are affected. Then the promoters and the stakeholders. And last but not least, when we talk about education, there are many other people who are suffering because of the homeschooling, that is the logistic support providers. When they come back to the school, then everything will become normal. That is one thing. But when we are going for a homeschooling system, no doubt the child is under the direct control of the, what we call as the parents. But that is not going to help the child to go for an overall development of the personality, because many qualities which are supposed to be developed during what we call as the early childhood, what we call as during the formative years, that will not be able to develop. But one can also, I can say, this homeschooling is a temporary phase. It is a temporary phase. Now, gradually, the schools are opening in India. But one thing is also there, that government policy is not very clear. After COVID-19, we have got so many states and union territories. And the guidelines which has been given by the central government, is to open the school, but the state government guidelines are something different. And we are opening very slowly and gradually. That's why now most of the states are getting free of Corona, COVID-19, and gradually the schools are opening. The problems will be there. There will be lot of social and psychological problems. Now, when we talk about the social and psychological problems, there will be a problems for the students also. The problem will be for the teachers also. When we talk about the students, we always say that it is a physical and mental health of the student will be directly affected because of the homeschooling. Whereas when the teachers are teaching online classes from the home and the parents are sitting at the home and looking after the online classes for the students, there will be a lot of socio-emotional stress both on the teachers as well as the parents. And secondly, when we are going for a home, what we call as the homeschooling, how you are going to evaluate the students, because there will be challenges for measuring the progress of learning. There will be a challenge of how to validate their progress of learning through online process, because when you're coming to the school, the systems will be different. When you are off the school, the systems are different. You cannot validate your learning process. That is one of the problems which I can say. Now, because the schools has not opened, but for the working parents, what you will see that they are going to the work, husband and wife both, but the child is at home. And that's why what is happening also, that the proper care of the child at the home is not being taken properly. And this is also causing a lot of damage for the child also. And not only this, on the other hand, those who are working parents, most of the time we might see that, especially in the urban area, not in the rural area. Urban area, if the husband is there and wife both are working, one has to take the leave and she or he has to stay at the home and they have to look after the child. This is also costing a lot of problems as far as economical cost is concerned. Another important thing which I always say that from the economical point of view, if you see, because of homeschooling, who are all the sufferers? Because the schools are closed, the parents are not willing to give the fees, the salary of the staff and students, salary of the staff and teachers are becoming a very challenging job for all the educators and promoters of the school, even for the principal. And we also looked at, yes, because of this, if it is sustained for a very long time, it is going to cause a damage to the education system. That's why I told it is a temporary phase, and when it's a temporary phase, we have to look forward that we have to revert back slowly and gradually, and we should move toward normalization of the school system. And one of the challenge because of homeschooling, especially in the primary section, now they are coming after 1 year for admission. Now, there are three possibilities are there. Either they have to give the exams, or we have to promote them, or if they are not coming, we have to take online classes. But most of the schools are promoting without any exams. Now, this is going to affect the strength of different classes now, especially in the lower classes, from KG to class 5, I can say, which is what we call as foundation period. That's why homeschooling system, it is very safe to prevent your child or keep the child safe at home because of COVID. But sooner or later, the parents have to send their child to what we call as to the schools. And if you are sending to the schools, then only the overall personality of the child can be developed. Last thing is that, yes, there is a challenges for homeschooling, but it is not going to sustain for a very long. Very soon, we are going to come back to the normal schooling system, and there is no replacement of school environment in a school campus, in the school infrastructure. Homeschooling cannot be sustained for a very long time because it is not possible. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Mr. Rajkishore Devangan, could you tell us about your thoughts on the topic, please?
First of all, good evening to all the panel members present over here. And thanks to the Education News Network for giving this opportunity to us. Coming to today's topic is the delay in the reopening of the K-12 segment giving rise to homeschooling. I would straight away say no. For the past 1 year, it has been a real havoc for all the schools and the parents also, who have been trying to cope up with the COVID situation and also mentoring their children at home. It's a big task. They also now know that it is a very big task on their heads, on their shoulders. I would discuss the points as in the difference between homeschooling and the schools, normal schools. The first point I would like to mention is the preschools. All the pre-primary schools were not able to function properly. That is a major disadvantage of homeschooling. Internet providers could not provide at remote locations. So that was a very big challenge for all the pre-primary schools. So the students for the past 1 year have not learned anything. It is only 20 to 25 schools who were able to cater to those students. And like Sir has said, it is very important for the parents also to take care of them. 1 or 2 class in a day is not possible for a child's learning. Pre-primary school normally functions for 3 hours. So one can very well imagine the kind of lacuna this system is having. Now, if we come to homeschooling for the pre-primary students, there are many apps and many nowadays for the past 1 year, many things have come up to lure them to come to their websites, to come to their apps. But will it really help them? We don't think it is possible for them because child do not want to learn in a monotonous way. They want to learn in a playful way. And it is very much possible in normal schoolings. So when we try to develop the understanding and bonding of those 30 or 25 students in a class, it is the teacher's responsibility to take care of all the children properly. And at home, these things are not possible. So the first point is preschooling. It has hampered a lot. When it comes to normal schooling, definitely the children would learn a lot. The second point I would like to mention is the discipline part. They have grown a lot mentally and physically. So it's now the school's prerogative to understand their psychology and then accordingly act towards them. When a parent tries to understand his or her child, it is not possible in a full manner how to deal with the situation, with the present situation. And when the schools will open, the schools will have to suffer a lot and will have to have the hands-on experience as to how to deal with the discipline of the students. The third thing I would say, like Sir said, that there is no general information as to how to deal. Now, NEP, we go according to the NEP, to the NCERT syllabus. But when it comes to homeschooling, there is no detailed syllabus as to how to go about the studies. So parents understand that the students have a lot of time. They are distracted towards their social media and a lot of time is killing. They are killing a lot of time and that is why they are not able to concentrate on the studies. So when they come for a school for 6 hours and 2 hours of the commutation, those 8 hours, they understand a lot. They'll understand the social development of the students. That is very important. Sir has mentioned one more point is the co-scholastics area. When a child is at home, it is not possible for a child to grow in all those aspects, be it dance, music, sports, whatever things the school is providing. When a child comes and tries to take part in the inter-house competitions or for that matter, inter-school competitions, the child grows a lot. So that is why a school plays a very important role in the cultural and the co-scholastics area of a child. So that is a major disadvantage of the homeschooling. There are many factors in a child's development one major point I would like to mention is a life skill is social skills. Students, the interpersonal skills. Students have missed, I would really say the students used to say us that, sir and ma'am, we miss our lunches, the backbench lunches at school. So please allow us to have lunch with all.
Right.
The sixth point I would like to mention here is the generation gap, which everyone in every phase of time within, earlier it was 20 years of generation gap. Now every 5 years we are having a generation gap. Even the elder brother is not able to understand a younger brother. Now the teachers in a school are trained and updated accordingly. The CBSE and the ICSE and other state boards are time and again creating many workshops for the student, for the teachers, to make them understand the psychology of the students as and when it changes. So therefore a school is very important in these manners, that how a child is changing and how to understand their psychology and act accordingly. Because unless and until we be friends and understand their psychology, it is not possible to change them. Students counseling, I would mention students counseling is an integral part of the schools, which is not possible at home. So that is very important. I would mention over here various life skills, like everybody knows problem solving, decision making, and critical creative thinking, which all the guidelines are there when it comes to schooling. So those are the important aspects which a school has to take care of. Okay. The last point I would mention over here is every child is not capable to understand properly when it comes to homeschooling, or when it comes to normal schooling also. So the schools have to take care of those childs and the good children also simultaneously, because now it is a very competitive world, and to be in competition we have to prepare the students accordingly. So it is very important that the child learns what is comparison and what is competition in a very healthy manner. Thank you very much. And that, I think so, schools is
Thank
very
you, sir.
important, plays a very important place in that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Harinder Chabra, could you tell us about your thoughts of homeschooling?
Yeah, so I have a slightly, or in fact, a very different point of view on this. I think what we have spoken so far is whether a child is being taught by teachers in a school or whether the child is being taught by parents at home. And I don't, and my definition of homeschooling is very different. In my experience, and I know of people who are homeschooling their children, two of them being my batchmates. I think it's a different set of people who want a different kind of education, who are looking to homeschool their children, but they are not the teachers, right? What ends up happening is you have a similar set of parents who want this kind of education in a city or in a neighborhood within a city, and you group those children together in a room which is not a typical school, right? And then you get experts to teach them. Now, instead of a teacher teaching in a school, they're getting schooling at home. So that's a different, homeschooling I'm talking about. I'm not, and I think so far, Mr. Sinha and Mr. Devangan have spoken about a parent not having the skills to teach children at home. Of course, they don't have the time either if they're both working. But what happened during these last almost a year now? I think March 13th is when UP government announced closure of school. Today is March 12th, 365th day today, and there is one very clear realization among the parent community that they, especially with the children who are aged say 9 or below, or 8 or below, that the parents' own ability to teach is very limited, and therefore probably the respect for school, the respect for teachers, provided the schools did a good job of teaching their children, went up manifolds, right? So on one hand you have parents who appreciated the effort being put by teachers, but on the other hand you also made a lot of people think where schools were not doing a good job, that we can do a better job than this. So I think there is that distinction we need to make whether what was the experience of the parent in the last 1 year, for them to say whether homeschooling, or schooling away from school is better than a schooling in school, right? And for a parent who wants to look at alternative skills, who doesn't believe in knowledge-based learning and a CBSE exam which tests broadly on knowledge, these, even today, very few exams around skills. Is this what I want for my children, right? And that question actually has led to a set of parents who believe that education was never meant to be restricted to knowledge. Education was meant to be a holistic development of a child's abilities, and value system and mindsets and a belief system. And therefore, if parents who look at that as education, which is more holistic, I think if they're not getting in a school, they are prepared to go to alternative schools or a homeschool, right? So I think that want and desire for an alternative kind of education existed even pre-COVID. There are people. So Pune has a very big circle of homeschoolers. Bombay has a circle of homeschoolers. So that's a different need altogether. Look at worldwide. There are online schools which help children who homeschool, right? So homeschooling in that perspective, I think existed, and more people will be nudged in that direction, if not today, but they will definitely think about it given their past experience. Whether I want it as an educator, as a school owner, honestly, I believe parents know best. I mean, if we do a good job, we provide parents what they want, I think we will continue to exist. There's no threat. To me, onus is on us to be able to provide the quality that parents want, provide the kind of education that parents want. And it's important that as a school, every school stands for something, and then look for people who want that, right? So I don't see homeschooling as a threat. I don't see homeschooling as a threat to the education system per se. It has not wiped down schools in America. I mean, it's homeschooling is very big in America. But yes, the kind of education homeschooling parents provide their children is very, very different to the kind of education children get in schools. And I think this is a reason why we have an open school concept. We have NIOS for children who don't want to go to school and give an exam from an open board, not necessarily to be part of a school system to give that exam, right? So of course, there is that option that parents can take. And I think in the past 1 year's experience for some parents could be, because understand that last year was the first time when parents really saw how their school was teaching the child. Before this, it was all completely based on the promise the school made, or my little interactions with teachers on the PTM. So I think they will look for alternatives. Suddenly, will 20% of India's children start going to do homeschooling? Not happening, right? So yes, some people will be nudged, and I don't think that's bad. I think it only and to be honest, if more people actually take homeschooling, it's a wake-up call for the education system, right? So we need to figure out what's not working for us. Why are people not happy with what the school system is giving? So to me, either ways, it is fine. It keeps us on our toes, and at the same time, it's a feedback if people do that. But at the same time, I think people have the right to choose what is best for the children, decide what is right for the development of the child, and at some point, even the child would choose, provided there are options.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, Ms. Deepti, can we have your thoughts? What you think of homeschooling?
I'd like to thank Education News Today for having me today, and to all the distinguished panelists. It was really enlightening to hear to all of your thoughts. For me, homeschooling is more of traditional way where parents have taken up on schooling the kids at home. So maybe yes, this might be I see a temporary phenomena, because of the financial constraints and the health concerns that parents have been faced, that they think that they can actually educate the child at home and they can deliver the education. But believe me, this last 1 year has actually brought out the importance of schools to everybody. With the students trying to come back, so many parents, however, are thinking that they can't teach the child at home. Uh, for them, my question, one simple question I have is, if tomorrow the hospitals stop functioning, will we start doing self medications? We won't, right? Highly unlikely that is. So just like healthcare, education today also has become very well researched, and it is continuously updating themselves. So like the curriculum we follow, be it CBSE, ICSE, or IB board, is being continuously updated with NEP coming in. So teachers are continuously being trained with new pedagogies, be it active learning, collaborative learning, how to make our students future ready citizens. And for us, the assessments are not just assessments. It's not just about scores. So we focus on the learning gaps. There's a lot of analytics which is involved behind to understand the gaps and providing the necessary scaffolding and remedials to the students. A lot of planning that goes behind every lesson that is being delivered. So it is not one person, who can change this whole process or can take up, on educating a child. The whole team works together, where someone who's well equipped and experienced is designing the curriculum. Then the trainers who are facilitating that, the teaching happens in the right way. The analytical tools are there that analyze the whole data, and then we close the gaps of the student. Homeschooling to replicate all this, is it possible? I don't think so. It is very unlikely, that a child is sitting at home and a parent has enough, or a tutor, whoever is coming across, is very well researched and taught and equipped to teach that topic. Also, the ambience is right for the child to learn. And even if after all this, even if child can follow what is being taught, what happens to the interpersonal skills that we are talking about? Everybody, I think all the panelists have very clearly spoken about the social skills, the peer learning. Everything that happens that goes into the school is much beyond what is there in just books, textbooks, or just delivering that chapter. So I think that homeschooling is a very far-fetched phenomena which will actually help a child being ready as a future ready citizen. It looks very unlikely to me.
Thank you, ma'am. My question to Mr. Rajkishore Devangan would be, sir, so the delay in the reopening of the K-12 segment is not giving rise to homeschooling, according to you. So what about the parents who see it like Mr. Harinder said that some parents are okay with homeschooling. So what do you think, like, if that is the case, what are the implications on the child?
I would like to mention over here that Mr. Harinder clearly stated that every parent has their own perspective. Homeschooling for him was very different. It was like this specialist teachers teaching online at their homes. So that was what I was wanting to mention. Yes.
So not online. I know of people where they have formed groups of like-minded parents, and there are physical classes running at somebody's house, and they keep changing places. So what I meant was that instead of a school, the way we know, 100 rooms, a big auditorium, a playground, instead of that, the home becomes a school. So it's schooling at home and not a school versus a home kind of a scenario. No?
But for me, I suppose I've already clearly mentioned that social skills and interpersonal relationships is very important for a child, and that is a basic need for every person to grow up. For that reasons, I suppose the schools plays a very important role when it comes to school. When the child comes over here, a lot of activities are done over here. Like Deepti ma'am has clearly mentioned that there are a lot of backworking which needs to be done by a school for a teacher to enter the class. How to teach, what to teach, and what are the various skills required to teach. So it is not about the chapter which is being taught, it is how it is being taught. And for that reasons, there are a lot of trainings which is required, which a teacher goes through. What I feel is a bonding which is required for a school is not possible at home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. S.K. Sinha, you said that a lot of parents are looking at it as a temporary solution, right? Homeschooling their kids during the pandemic due to health concerns. So, in this case, for parents who are looking at it as a temporary solution, what would be your tips to these parents on how to go about it so it doesn't hamper the well being of the child and also caters to the development?
Yeah. See, just now I was listening to discussion about the homeschooling. See, when you look into the definition of the homeschooling, that means you are giving is education in the home environment. That is very clear. But there is a slight difference. I always say that don't take the school. The school is a separate environment, home is a separate environment, and the qualities which is required to be developed by the students. Because this class, what we talk about K to 12, that is the up to the age of say 16 or 18 years of age. This is the age of formative years, and especially particularly below 8 years, it is more important. And where we are looking for this, we should have a proper schooling system where they must develop various personal social qualities, and it can only be possible in the school when they are not only exposed to participate in the classroom by finishing the syllabus. There are also out of box, that is out of classrooms, many activities are there which is helping them to develop various qualities, which has already been discussed. Right now, what is happening at home, they are getting education, a teacher is teaching. And a good teacher is that who teaches with his hand, who teaches with his head, and who teaches with his heart. Here we are teaching right now only with the head. Whatever we are giving, they are receiving. But we are not teaching on hand-on skills. The schools are gradually opening. We are very hopeful. I am very on a positive note, sitting in a very remote area. The challenges will be with the, but the only thing that when the schools are reopening after this pandemic, the promoters, the principal, the teachers, they have to work as a team for the safety of the children, so that if any cases happen in any of the school, it will bounce back on the school management.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Harinder, do you have something to say?
Yes, so I just wanted to come in. So again, slightly different view. So what parents, so what parents end up doing is, for all the social, emotional development of children, since they are always in groups, they're not doing one-to-one teaching. So there's a group of children working together, and many times these are age agnostic groups. So you could have different children or different age groups working together. So there are planned interventions where parents take the onus of taking them to places, going for picnics, going to a music, kind of a concert, going to a wildlife zoo. There are enough opportunities provided by the parents to ensure children, get along with other children, right? They even study with other children during the day. So social emotional is taken care of. And there is a big assumption that teachers who don't teach in a school but teach at home are underqualified, untrained. I don't think that's true. But there are people who really think is the right way, but they are very limited in number. Largely, in areas like Pune, Bombay, Bangalore, it's not very common up north. So yes, and RT doesn't say that you have to send a child to school. I mean, it's the states to ensure that children go to school. But if a parent doesn't want to send, it's okay. So where do you say that X, Y, Z things are happening only in schools? I think parents are finding a way. It's just that they need to be in large enough numbers as a group, and when they are in a group, they find a way. They take them to adventure camp for sports activities. So they found alternatives for everything that a school has to offer, right? The only issue is time. To be able to homeschool your children, you need to devote personal time. And over the last 15-20 years, what has happened is our mindset is that children go to school, I can breathe, as a parent. So it has become outsourcing of education in that sense, right? But it's not mainstream, right? To make it mainstream, I think government has taken initiative, and government of Maharashtra has open board now, a state board which is open board, apart from the national NIOS. So there is, and why would they do it? Because there is a demand for that. It's not that government would waste their resources on opening an open board where nobody needs it, right?
Can I interrupt?
Uh,
Can I interrupt
Sure,
here?
please.
Yeah. See, what is happening, the policy, when you're talking about the opening of the school, the policy of the central government and the state government is different. And that's why it is very, very difficult for implementation. And state-wise, you will see, there is a lot of variations are there. Like, for example, we are in North India. You go to the West Bengal, school has not opened. Recently, class 9 to 12th, they have started. But still the junior schools have not opened. So likewise, in the south you go, some
So
of the
that
schools
is,
are...
yeah, that is because education is a state subject. Government,
Yeah.
central government only gives guidelines,
Mhm.
but states guidelines are the final binding on
Mm.
you because you're in a state.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so which is fine. All I'm saying is, in a larger perspective, we look at homeschooling versus the school.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to say is that there is nothing, honestly, which I feel. I'm a school owner. I'll be very happy if nobody does homeschooling from a business point of view. But I think discussion is beyond that. What I'm saying is that homeschooling as a concept, if parents want a different kind of education, they're going for it and finding alternative for everything else that we are claiming that a school gives. Right? So I'm not saying we need to be worried about it, because it's not easy. People have got into a mindset that school is supposed to take care of all this. I'm not equipped, right? But there is a handful of parents, and what I'm saying is more people will be nudged in that direction because of the pandemic.
Thank you, sir. So my final question is to Ms. Deepti. Ma'am, I think we heard Dr. Sinha say that children are being promoted because they're resorting to homeschooling. There's been a gap in education and they're being promoted. But what are your thoughts on that? Is that good for the child psychologically in the long run?
See, every year that has been defined in the education has its own milestone, and it is very important for the child to meet those milestones. Now, what Mr. Sinha very correctly quoted, now without checking those milestones, if we promote the child, there are again, for example, like in 6th grade, light is introduced, which is finally tested in 10th grade also. So, if in 6th grade, the chapter of light is not clear to a child, I'm more of a teacher, so that's why I'm quoting such examples. So if in 6th grade, the chapter of light is not clear to a child, you go to 7th grade, you promote to 8th, 9th, and finally in 10th, that gap will really be huge. So it is very important, and when students come back, we as a school are working that we will again take their assessments, and these will be offline assessments, and then we will decide that how much do we need to cover, or give a recap of last year and then cover and then start with this year. So that plan is there. Maybe this year we work a little longer, or maybe we don't have summer holidays, but we will need, as educators, we all will need to close all the gaps that this 1 year of pandemic has brought in with students. And you believe me, you will be surprised, my senior grades 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, once they have come back, we are realizing that even if we had very effective classes and all, but still they were not like schools. They cannot replace schools. So once they have come back, we have taken their assessments, and we are working on bringing up, doing everything, whatever we can with the extra time, with extra classes, with one-to-one sessions. We are trying to bring up that change. Whatever has been left, we will this year itself close that and then move ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That will be yours. Thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Vidya.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And with that, we come to the end of this insightful panel discussion. Due to time constraints, we could only answer a couple of questions, but do feel free to write to us in case of any additional queries you may have. For more such videos, do log on to our website, theann.com, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. For now, signing off, Nitya.